10 real-time strategy games you need to experience if you are a fan of the genre. Command & Conquer Red Alert 2.
Yes,
New
master.
construction options. Building.
Imagine a world where history went a little crazy. Instead of just normal tanks and soldiers, you've got giant squids, flying fortresses, and mind control devices. It's like a cartoon war, but you get to control it. You start by building your base. You need power plants, barracks to train your soldiers, and factories to make tanks and planes. Then you gather resources like gold or crystals to pay for everything. It's like running a little army business. You're not just building though, you're fighting. You send your soldiers and tanks to attack the enemy's base, and they send theirs to attack you. It's a constant back and forth, trying to outsmart each other. You need to think about where to send your units, what kind of units to build, and how to defend your base. It's like a big puzzle, but with explosions.
Unit lost.
It's clobbering time.
Red Alert 2 is a classic game because it's easy to learn, but it's also got a lot of depth. You can play it casually and just have fun building and fighting, or you can get really serious and try to master all the strategies. It's got something for everyone. And because it's older, a lot of computers can run it even if they aren't super powerful. It's a game that stood the test of time, and a lot of people still play it today.
Unit lost.
Commencing assault.
Building captured. Our base is under attack.
Company of Heroes.
The Stahlvormund was moving slowly. We had engine trouble.
Brand new motor that runs like Scheiße. Just keep the turret powered. Great. Turret for targets because real shite.
So imagine you're a wartime commander, right? But instead of just looking at maps and moving pieces around, you're right there on the front lines making real-time decisions. This game puts you in charge of small groups of soldiers, and you've got to be smart about how you use them. It's not about building a massive army and throwing them at the enemy. It's about using cover, flanking your opponents, and using the right units to counter their strengths. You've got to think tactically like a real commander. The game looks incredibly realistic, buildings crumble, the ground gets torn up by explosions, and you can use the environment to your advantage. It really feels like you're fighting in a real war. You can use ruined buildings as cover, create trenches, and even blow up bridges to slow down the enemy. The story is told through these cinematic missions, and it's pretty intense. You'll feel the pressure of commanding your troops, and you'll get invested in their survival. It's not just about winning, it's about the soldiers you're commanding. Company of Heroes is a game for people who like to think strategically. It's not just about building a lot of units, it's about using them wisely. You'll have to make tough choices, and you'll feel really good when you come up with a plan that works. It's a challenging game, but it's also really fun and rewarding. It's like being in your own war movie and you're the director. Supreme Commander. You're in charge of a giant futuristic war, not like a little skirmish, but a massive galaxy-spanning conflict. You're not just building a few tanks, you're building giant robots, huge fleets of planes, and even nukes. You start with this big robot, your armored command unit, and that's your starting point. From there, you build your base, gather resources, and start cranking out units. You're basically running a giant high-tech war factory. The cool thing about this game is the scale. You're not just fighting small battles, you're waging massive wars. You can zoom out and see the entire battlefield, with hundreds of units clashing at once. You've got to manage a lot of stuff. You're building factories, researching new weapons, and making sure you have enough resources to keep your war machine running. It's like being a general and a CEO at the same time. The fights are epic. You'll see giant robots stomping around, planes bombing enemy bases, and huge explosions lighting up the sky. It's really satisfying to see your plans come together and watch your army crush the enemy. Supreme Commander is a game for people who like big strategic battles. It's not just about clicking on units and sending them to attack. You've got to think ahead, plan your moves, and manage your resources. It's a challenging game, but it's also really rewarding. You'll feel like a real commander when you're leading your forces to victory. It's like being in charge of a huge futuristic army, and it's a ton of fun. Warhammer 40k Dawn of War. So you're stepping into this universe, right? It's the 41st millennium, and let me tell you, it's not a chill place. Everything's at war, all the time. It's like the whole galaxy is just one big, never-ending battle. You get to control these super tough soldiers, the Space Marines. They're like these giant armored warriors, and they're seriously hardcore. Or, if you're feeling a bit more wild, you can play as the Orcs. They're these big green rowdy aliens who just love to fight. It's like choosing between playing a super soldier or a green rampaging monster. You start by building your base, gathering resources, and then you start cranking out units. But this isn't just about building a ton of dudes and sending them to attack. It's about being smart. You've got to use cover, like hiding behind walls and buildings to protect your soldiers. You've got to flank your enemies, which means sneaking around them and attacking from the side or behind. And you've got to use the right units to counter whatever the enemy throws at you. It's like a really intense strategic game of chess, but with lasers and explosions instead of pawns and rooks. The game looks amazing too. Everything's dark and gritty, like a war-torn wasteland. The units are all super detailed so you can really see all the little bits of armor and weapons. It really feels like you're right there on the battlefield, fighting in this dark, futuristic war. The story is pretty epic too. You're fighting for the fate of a whole planet, and there are a lot of twists and turns along the way. It's like a really cool sci-fi war strategy game. You'll meet a lot of interesting characters, and you'll have to make some tough choices that will affect the outcome of the war. StarCraft 2.
Not enough minerals.
Picture this. You're a cosmic general, but instead of just one army, you get to pick from 3 wildly different alien factions. It's like choosing between space cowboys with tanks, bug-like swarms, or super techie energy beings. You kick things off by setting up your base, your home away from home. You're collecting space minerals and glowing gas, the space equivalent of cash, to fund your war efforts. Then you start building your forces. You've got everything from heavy tanks and fighter jets, to swarming alien creatures and high-powered energy warriors. It's like having a toy chest filled with the coolest sci-fi gadgets. This isn't just about building a big army, though, it's about strategizing. You're planning attacks, defending your territory, and trying to outmaneuver your opponent. It's like a high-stakes game of space chess where every move counts. The narrative unfolds through these slick cinematic scenes, almost like a space opera. You get to know the characters, understand their motivations, and feel like you're part of a grand interstellar saga. StarCraft 2 is a game that tests your mental agility and strategic thinking. It's a challenging experience, but it's also incredibly rewarding. When you emerge victorious, it's a real sense of accomplishment.
Course laid in.
Mineral field depleted. Insufficient
It's a trap.
gas.
Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. Okay, Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. Think of it like playing with a big, awesome history toy box. You get to build your own kingdom, just like in the olden days, but you're in charge. You start with a tiny village, just a few people and some houses. You need to gather stuff, like wood from trees, food from farms, and gold from mines. That's how you build more stuff, like bigger houses, farms, and places to train soldiers. It's like building a Lego city, but with real history. You get to pick which group of people you want to play as. You could be the Britons, who were really good at archery, or the Franks, who had really strong knights, or maybe you want to play as the Japanese, who had samurai warriors. Each group has their own special soldiers and ways of doing things. It's like having different teams in a sports game. You're not just building though, you're also making plans. You have to decide where to build your farms, where to put your soldiers, and how to attack your enemies. You can build big walls and towers to protect your city, or you can send your soldiers out to take over other lands. It's like playing a board game, but you're moving real people and buildings. This version of the game looks really nice. Everything is bright and clear, and the people and buildings look really detailed. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition is a really fun game if you like history and building things. You get to be a king or queen, and you get to make all the decisions. You can build a peaceful kingdom, or you can build a big army and conquer the world. It's like having your own history adventure. You can play by yourself, or you can play with your friends. It's a game that you can play for hours and hours, and you'll always find something new to do. Rise of Nations. Imagine you've got this giant time machine and you can fast forward through all of human history, but you get to make all the choices. That's what this game feels like. You start way back in the Stone Age with just a tiny group of people and a little village. You're gathering food from berries and hunting animals, and you're chopping down trees to build your first huts. As you play, you'll discover new inventions like farming and writing, and you'll build bigger and bigger cities. It's like watching your little village grow into a huge, powerful nation. You get to pick which nation you want to play as, and there are tons of choices. You could be the Romans building roads and conquering lands, or the Egyptians building pyramids and sailing down the Nile. Or maybe you want to play as the Americans building skyscrapers and flying airplanes. Each nation has its own special things that make it unique, like special soldiers or special buildings. It's like playing different versions of history, and you get to see how things might have been different. This game isn't just about building though, it's also about fighting. You'll build armies of soldiers, tanks, and airplanes, and you'll fight wars against other nations. You'll have to think strategically like a real general, and decide where to attack and how to defend your cities. You can even build wonders of the world like the Great Wall of China or the Eiffel Tower, which give you special bonuses. Rise of Nations is a really fun game if you like history and building empires. It's like being a ruler of your own nation, and you get to guide it through thousands of years of history. You can play through different scenarios like fighting in World War II, or you can build your own custom campaigns. You can even play online with your friends and see who can build the strongest nation. It's a game that you can play for a long time, and you'll always find something new to do. It's like having a giant history sandbox, and you get to play in it however you want. Stronghold Crusader. Let's paint a picture for you. You're a lord way back in the Middle Ages during the time of the Crusades. Forget modern life, you're dealing with stone walls, archers, and massive siege engines. Think of it like building the coolest sandcastle ever, but it's a real working castle in the desert, and people are trying to take it from you. So you start with a patch of desert and a few workers. You've got to build everything from scratch. Huge stone walls to keep invaders out, tall towers where archers can rain arrows down on enemies, and all sorts of traps like pits and fire ballista to make life miserable for anyone trying to break in. It's like building your own medieval fortress piece by piece. But it's not just about defense, you've got to keep your people happy too. You'll build farms to grow food, markets to sell goods, and even things like churches and inns to keep everyone's spirits up. It's like running a small medieval town, making sure everyone has what they need. You can choose to play as different lords, each with their own style. Some are good at building, some are good at fighting, and some are just plain mean. It's like picking your character in a role-playing game, each with their own unique abilities. When it comes to battles, things get really exciting. You'll command archers to shoot arrows from the walls, swordsmen to fight hand-to-hand, and siege weapons like catapults and trebuchets to smash enemy defenses. You can even build siege towers to climb over walls and break through enemy gates.
I live to serve you. Our horses are ready. You have something in mind?
Sins of a solar empire. You're the big boss of a huge space adventure. You're not just flying one ship, but you're running a whole space empire, trying to take over the galaxy. You start by building space stations, which are like your home bases in space. You're also figuring out new tech like better weapons and stronger shields, and you're commanding massive fleets of spaceships. You'll jump from star system to star system, finding new planets to live on and fighting these huge space battles. It's like exploring a giant map of the stars. You get to pick from 3 different groups of aliens, and they're all pretty cool. You've got the tech, which are basically like space humans building big, tough ships. Then there's the Advent, these aliens with mind powers who can do some pretty wild stuff. And finally, you've got the Visari, these aliens who are always on the move, building their empire as they go. It's like choosing your team in a really cool space sports league. This game isn't just about blowing stuff up though, you've got to think ahead. You're managing all your resources like space rocks and space fuel, and you're building up your economy so you can afford more ships and more tech. You've got to plan your attacks, decide where to send your fleets, and figure out how to outsmart your enemies. You can even try to make friends with other groups and form alliances, or you can just say forget it and conquer everyone. It's like being a space politician and a space general all at once. Sins of a Solar Empire is a really fun game if you like big, epic space battles and planning out your strategies. It's like being a space emperor, telling your forces what to do and watching your empire grow. You can play by yourself, or you can play online with your friends and see who can build the biggest and strongest space empire. It's a game that lets you live out your space fantasies, and it's a ton of fun. Star Wars Empire at War. You're basically running the show in the Star Wars universe. You can be the bad guys, the Empire, or the good guys, the rebels. You start by building up your forces both in space and on planets. You're making fleets of spaceships like Star Destroyers and X-Wings, and you're building ground armies with stormtroopers and rebel soldiers. You get to use all the cool vehicles and characters you know from the movies like ATs and even Darth Vader. It's like playing with your favorite Star Wars toys but on a huge scale. You get to play through the whole galactic civil war, which is the big fight between the Empire and the Rebels. You can choose to play as either side, and each side has their own unique units and ways of fighting. It's like playing two different games in one. You can try to crush the rebellion with the Empire's powerful forces, or you can lead the Rebels to victory against overwhelming odds. This game isn't just about shooting lasers, though. You've got to think like a general. You're managing resources, building up your economy, and planning your attacks. You'll have to decide where to send your fleets, which planets to attack, and how to defend your territory. You can even try to make alliances with other factions, or you can just go all out and conquer everyone. It's like being a military strategist, making tough decisions that will affect the fate of the galaxy. They are billions. The world's gone totally sideways and there's a zombie apocalypse, but not like a few zombies here and there. We're talking billions of them, like a never-ending wave of hungry monsters. Your job? Build a safe place for people to live and keep those zombies out. You start with a tiny building, your command center, and that's your starting point. You gotta gather stuff like wood and rocks to build houses for people to live in and big walls to keep the zombies away. As you get bigger, you'll need farms to grow food and power plants to keep the lights on. It's like building a little town but with a giant zombie threat hanging over your head. This game is all about staying alive. You're not just building a city, you're building a fortress. You've got to put up stone walls, build towers with archers, and set up traps to slow down the zombie hordes. You also have to keep your people happy. If they're not happy, they might leave, and then who's gonna help you fight the zombies? What makes this game tough is the sheer number of zombies. They don't just trickle in, they come in huge waves, like a giant ocean of undead. If you're not ready, they'll smash through your walls and overrun your colony. You've got to think fast, make smart choices, and be ready for anything. It's like a really intense puzzle, but the puzzle is trying to kill you.